11:12 a.m. Again, Unit 207 was brought paper instructions by a man from the exterior 12 minutes ago at 11 a.m. PST today. At 11 a.m. PST, Unit 207 was brought criminal paper instructions to terminate the preceding live stream. Unit 207, a male up there that's going to prison, is already actively attempting to criminally and illegally prevent this live stream from functioning, and now that he has received the paper instructions as of 13 minutes ago, he believes that he will be successful in doing so for all future live streams. Unit 207 previously was attempting to cut off the live stream numerous times for over 4 hours, for over 3 hours. Additionally, if you missed it, Unit 207 criminally and illegally shut off the preceding live stream after being provided written instructions at 11 a.m. from a fellow domestic terrorist within the North Everett precinct, who is still currently upstairs. And then upon attempting to initiate this live stream, I was brought to a page where it pretended as though the preceding live stream that ran for almost 4 hours had never initiated. I cannot actively go back to that to confirm whether or not they illegally ended that, but the man from the exterior who came all the way from the North Everett precinct to provide them with written instructions for their domestic terrorism organization is still upstairs. So since they were able to do that, we know that they'll be able to do it again. And since, as you were aware of, in the event that you were listening at all to the preceding live stream for the almost 4.5 hours that it was recording, you're already aware that Unit 207 has tried everything that you can imagine in order to criminally and illegally shut off the live stream, but were unable to, again, until a man from the North Everett precinct of stalkers came with paper instructions 14 minutes ago and criminally and illegally shut off the preceding live stream. Something he'll be going to prison for, as they all are aware of. So it appears that we are connected now. Now I'm going to have to edit the title and the caption to have all of the appropriate data. Okay. And we're going to add a little update on here. The 2/13/11:11 a.m. We're going to write at 11 a.m. a man from the North Everett precinct, a man from the domestic terrorist organization known as the North Everett precinct, arrived with paper instructions.
I wish they had been dead. I wish he had been a serial killer. Please.
For the men and women
After I recovered
in the domestic terrorist organization
my first thought was, thank God they're all
of
dead.
Unit 207, their co-conspirators.
I'm 64 years old, for Christ's sake. I'm not a young man who could forget things anymore. When you're young, you have this sense that you're invincible and that you're never going to die.
Let me read that. At 11 a.m., a man from the domestic terrorist organization arrived with paper for the men in the domestic terrorist organization of Unit 207, I'll say, and women.
It's my fault. I should have found them, saved them somehow.
I'm sorry, I
Comma,
have to ask.
terminating prior live.
Can you describe the scene?
Yeah.
Preventing inception of this live.
I can't. I didn't know what I was looking at first. Well, I still don't.
And apparently criminally and illegally erasing.
That was a stack.
Again, I can't confirm that because
Maybe 2 feet thick.
I can't navigate away from this live stream. It's the only thing that kept it on for the last 4 hours, as far as I know. Illegally
I
erased
thought maybe he'd
the
hacked them up and stacked them up in pieces.
7
That would have been bad enough. The first
Something.
thing that alerted me to the truth
AM
was the
live stream.
eyeball. On the top of the stack was a perfectly round eyeball in the middle of a socket that had been distorted to the side.
Unit
of a saucer.
207 attempted to shut off
That's when I
live
realized
streams.
What I was looking at was 20 goddamn years of torture, basically. He had the entire
Hoping to
Driscoll
utilize
family on
premeditated
house arrest
defense.
for 20 years,
Reported in
keeping them
February
alive
a
on an IV
14th
drip,
tort claim.
increasing the pressure on them so very slowly that their bodies had time to adapt until they had been flattened like
And to blame multiple times convicted stalker and abuser.
pancakes. He squished them by about a quarter inch every year for 20 years.
Their co-conspirator.
And he pulled them out when they were too broken and wretched to move, without any chance of recovery,
And
stacked
or
them on top of each other.
Others who have cyber attacked me.
I want to know.
And been ordered to pay me money.
God, they're all dead. And the one on the top started gasping again.
What did they say?
Unit 207
At first, couldn't speak without help.
has utilized
I think
all
they were engaging
devices
Driscoll.
to further their domestic terrorist organization
But the hair was blonde where there was hair.
and prove their criminal intent over the last 72 hours.
The head was a mess of scars. I think the son of a bitch who did this must have removed parts of their skulls. I've got no idea how he got their heads so flat otherwise. Not as flat as the rest of their bodies, but flat. Who the hell knows how their brains handled that?
Okay, saving that.
Their lips.
So that should be in the description.
Everywhere.
Are we still connected? Do we have audio? It's 11:19 a.m. PST.
Avery was 14 when he disappeared.
Are we still connected? Do we have audio? It's 11:19 a.m.
Stop shaking.
Okay. Now they may criminally and illegally shut off this live stream again. I'm taking a big risk here. I'm going to my YouTube channel so that I can see what they did to the preceding live stream that ran for over almost 4 hours. Literally at 11:30 something, I was planning on taking a tub because I thought they had stopped until they had their exterior guest who's still upstairs, who brought them the paper instructions to further their domestic terrorist organization, their aggravated criminal conspiracy, their criminal enterprise of child abusing, thieving, stalkers, hackers, fraudsters. Looking at the YouTube interface Nerd Squad, it says 250 videos are set for public consumption.
I wanted to do something. Maybe some.
And it shows that this live stream is running, and so is magically the one that ran for almost 4 hours, which I'm clicking on.
It increased the volume of air to the topmost hose.
Because again, as I stated previously, it appeared when I attempted to initiate this live stream that they had somehow erased the entire preceding live stream. And that appears to be the case right now, because clicking on it to watch it, although it was running for 4 hours, it's not allowing me to see anything at all. Just a spinning black box, and it doesn't show an end time for that video that they criminally and illegally ended due to the instructions brought to them by a fellow domestic terrorist of the North Everett precinct, who hand-delivered right on the FBI's surveillance the paperwork 21 minutes ago.
I didn't know what to do.
And yes, you're going to prison for that. So now I'm going to go to the studio on YouTube and see if the video is still reflecting there at all, that they criminally and illegally ended, and then apparently have prevented it from showing any of the 4 hours of recordings. Keep in mind, my door has still been closed since January 2nd. And also keep in mind, you guys are going to prison for the rest of your lives. The only exception is those of you that blew the whistle before January 1st independently.
The Driscoll family could have done that. I stated my name. I told him I was a detective. I told him I was there to help. I repeated it over and over again, knowing of course there was nothing that anyone anywhere could do to help. Miss Bamer arrived, drawn by the sound. Before she saw the stack, she told me that I had screamed and she had come to help. But I don't remember having done so.
Yes, it appears that Unit 207 has somehow criminally and illegally made it so that the preceding live stream appears to still be running concurrently, although it is not visible to anyone at all.
He was able to hear.
And again, they criminally and illegally ended it after the paper instructions were brought to them by a fellow domestic terrorist from the North Everett precinct 23 minutes ago, who is still very much upstairs.
Please kill me. Tell my family.
Very much.
I don't know if they're still looking for me. Don't let them know what happened to me. Please kill me. He could still cry, and he did. Although his tear ducts were too deformed for it to be noticeable. I should have forced Miss Bamer to leave. That is the only action in the matter which I regret more than failing to solve the case 20 years ago.
Okay, Nerd Squad, I went into my studio. I clicked on the circle with like little beams looking like it was coming out of it. And that brought me to the page where Unit 207 keeps manually bringing all of my live streams for the last 3 days of their psychopathy. And literally, some of you are going to prison for the rest of your life just because of what you've done on the laptops for the last 3 days. For real.
She said, that's all of them, isn't it?
Anyway, once again, navigating back to the YouTube live channel, because after I pushed on that, it brought me to the page that Unit 207 keeps manually bringing me to, especially for the last 3 days of this insanity of theirs. These acts of further domestic terrorism without immunity. And when I was brought to that black page on the top right corner, it had an option to end stream, which I selected, even though they already ended the stream. But on the laptop, the Lenovo ThinkPad, it still reflects that it's live, even though it's not live. It can't be live because the one on the right is live, and that's the one that you're watching. The one on the left that says 7:36 a.m., it ran for until 11.
It sounds like the gates of hell swinging open.
10-ish, when again, they followed the paper instructions that were brought to them. Oh, looks like they criminally and illegally shut off some time. It's 3 hours and 30 minutes long, but it's still visible, eh? 3 hours and 30 minutes long, even though they just criminally and illegally ended it. And they just guaranteed another man who was caught on the FBI's footage will be going to prison for bringing the paper instructions of the domestic terrorism organization. So the exterior here shows that this video ran for 3 hours and 45 minutes, but as Unit 207 has been doing and exercising since February 1st for their domestic terrorism organization, they've cut off 15 minutes of that right here. It says 3 hours and 30 minutes once you open it.
To give them all that final piece. It was the only kindness.
All you imbeciles are doing is guaranteeing that I'm paid more and guaranteeing that more and more of you will be going to a federal penitentiary to keep company with the others. Those of you who won't be lucky enough to get a job at Panda Express,
I asked if I could make a statement and leave, and after one of them saw what I had seen, they agreed.
which is a better outcome than all of you that will be in a federal penitentiary far sooner than you're expecting.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Who's showing the paramedics? I will up my sleeve.
Yes.
My wife has diabetes, so I'm well aware of the routine. Who's showing the paramedics? I will up my sleeve. Please make sure you. My wife has diabetes, so I'm well aware of the routine. Who's showing the paramedics?
So just to be clear, it is 11:26 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is a consensual recording of Mystic Glen. The date is February 13th, 2025. We got lots of updates. Most notably, hurry, quickly. Oh, they criminally and illegally changed the title of the video too, so I'll have to adjust that. Hurry, quickly go to facebook.com/Mystic Glen Lives Only You. I'm going to edit the title of this video because they criminally and illegally changed that as well. Make sure that you do that. That is going to show you the police report that was written today at 3 a.m. It's extremely pertinent. According to the FBI, it is literally Time sensitive. Excellent. They're thrilled about it. It was time sensitive. It was intended particularly for one of the people that have been requesting to go to prison of the domestic terrorist organization. And apparently it did whatever the FBI intended for it to do. That's how they feel about it. So make sure that you take the time and go check that out yourself. And I am attempting to get the appropriate title, which is the preceding live streams title. Oh, in fact, I will just Google Mystic Gwen since Unit 207 is so very busy. Remember, that imbecile that came with the paper instructions at 11 a.m. is still up there. You're going to have to leave at some time. Smile and wave to the FBI. You're now definitely going to prison for being a member of their domestic terrorist organization. Congratulations, I guess. I mean, is that what you want? He's one of the, I used to be an officer at the North Everett Precinct of Fraudsters. I mean, Precinct of Stalkers. I mean, the North Everett Precinct. And now I work at Panda Express and I handle the orange chicken complaints. One of those. So I am clicking on the preceding live stream only to cut and paste the title, which is going to remain the same according to the FBI all day. Should be remaining as domestic terrorist organization equals Unit 207 /NEP /et al. New addendum /report as of 3 a.m. Already filed, already served on everybody, even the Snohomish County Prosecutor's Office via the brand new Google review that they have. Again, remember, they spent the entirety of the preceding live stream attempting to criminally and illegally shut it down. At 11 a.m., a fellow domestic terrorist from their organization, known as a police precinct, which in of itself, huge, huge deal. Anyway, that being said, known as a police precinct, which in of itself, huge, huge deal. How huge? It's so huge that I have people that I'm not authorized to point out who are so excited to be involved in the prosecution of this domestic terrorist organization. Authorized to point out who are so excited to be involved in the prosecution of this domestic terrorist organization. If you missed it, the FBI has authorized me today, as of that report at 3 a.m., to let everybody know, surprise, all of the lawyers facing federal disbarment have known this the whole time, but you are indeed already legally a domestic terrorist organization. Disbarment have known this the whole time, but you are indeed already legally a domestic terrorist organization. Disbarment have known this the whole time. But you may be wondering, why is that important? Here's why it's important. Because the FBI would like me to remind you that the only reason you haven't been detained yet, the only reason, is because you still are perpetrating felonies with minimum mandatory sentences. And just like in the last 30 minutes, you've given the FBI more evidence of another individual, a man who brought you the paperwork to terminate illegally the preceding live stream, for him going to prison. And remember, everybody, the FBI had said that the people going to prison was oscillating between 7 and 9. Then it went up to 10. They have a new recruit that's joined their domestic terrorist organization, their criminal enterprise. And that person's already going to prison. Recruit that's joined their domestic terrorist organization, their criminal enterprise. And that person's already going to prison. But what the federal marshals would like to see happen is a third breaking and entering, because remember, the FBI said they're counting both of them with Officer Porky Pig. Marshals would like to see happen is a third breaking and entering, because remember, the FBI said they're counting both of them with Officer Porky Pig. And with the disabled teens you've been abusing for 13 months and utilizing to further your domestic terrorist organization and criminal conspiracy by coercing them and having them perpetrate felonies on your behalf. Further your domestic terrorist organization and criminal conspiracy by coercing them and having them perpetrate felonies on your behalf. And so the Seattle Federal Marshals would love it if you perpetrated a third breaking, entering, and then touched me, moving me even a single inch, because it will constitute yet another act of domestic terrorism. And then touched me, moving me even a single inch, because it will constitute yet another act of domestic. And that's worth noting because it's also something you've premeditated for 17 months.
Act of domestic.
And that's worth noting because it's also something you've premeditated for 17 months. And the FBI would love for you to proceed with that because, again, it goes a long way in your looming prosecution. Would love for you to proceed with that because, again, it goes a long way in your looming prosecution. Yep. Now, although I can't read you the full FBI / police report / addendum of today because of Unit 207. FBI / police report / addendum of today because of Unit 207. I have written in the description here some updates that you heard me say aloud as I was typing them. So let me just read them real quickly to you. 2:13, 11 a.m. At 11 a.m., a man from the domestic terrorist organization arrived with paper for the men and women within the domestic terrorist organization, terminating prior. Oh, that should say live streams. It doesn't. It says prior. So let me edit that real quick at 11:33 a.m. I'm going to actually just write lives because there's been so many since 7:55 p.m. And I'm also going to men and women in the domestic organization of Unit 207 / North Everett Precinct / prosecutors / et al. Okay. I will rewind and read it back to you from the beginning now that we've got the edit. Okay. Terminating prior live streams. Oh, it looks like Unit 207 is going to prevent me from being able to see the latest update. Let me see here. 7 is going to prevent me from being able to see the latest update. Scrolling down. Yep, I can't see it anymore. So I'll have to read it verbatim from here, the edit section of it. So here we go. Pushing edit. 2:13, 11 a.m. At 11 a.m., a man from the domestic terrorist organization of the North Everett Precinct arrived with paper for the men and women. I'm going to add in North Everett Precinct to clear that up. That's where he arrived from. How do I know that? Because the FBI has 24/7 surveillance on all of you. Duh. All right. 2:13, 11 a.m. At 11 a.m., a man from the domestic terrorist organization, North Everett Precinct, arrived with paper for the men and women, the domestic terrorist organization of Unit 207 / NEP / prosecutors et al., terminating prior lives, preventing inception of this live, and apparently illegally erased the 7-something a.m. live stream. I'm going to correct that to only about an hour of it. Unit 207 attempted to terminate lives, hoping to utilize 814 tort and to blame multiple times convicted stalker and/or others who have attacked me and been ordered to pay me money. That should say cyber attacked. Correcting that to say cyber attacked. Unit 207 has utilized all devices to further their domestic terrorist organization for the past 72 hours. And then it says CFOL 2:13 a.m. 2:13, 3 a.m. police report addendum on Facebook.com/MysticGwen. Saving at Nerd Squad at 11:36 a.m. Are we still connected?
Saving at Nerd Squad at 11:36.
The guy that brought the paper delivery for the domestic terrorist organization from their other office at the North Everett Precinct to Unit 207 is still upstairs, suggesting he plans on terminating this live stream again.
Unit 207 is still upstairs.
with everyone upstairs who was attempting to do just that over and over and over again for the last 4 hours.
Unit 207 is still upstairs.
With everyone upstairs who was attempting to do just that over and over and over again for the last 4 hours. But they needed their allies in the domestic terrorist organization, the criminal enterprise, the aggravated criminal conspiracy that they're all going to prison for, the only exceptions being those who blew the whistle before January 1st. If that's what you said, then ding, ding, ding. You've answered correctly. Now, again, there is a brand new police report, something they want you to just ignore and be focused on the fact that they keep criminally and illegally shutting off the live streams. They'd like to deflect from that police report. This is sort of indicative of their detachment from reality. I mean, these people are going to prison for the rest of their lives. The fact that they're even upstairs right now is literally nonsensical. So I cannot read the full police report because every time I've attempted to, they've criminally and illegally shut off the live stream and then erased hours or less than an hour of footage. But I will read to you a quick little excerpt that the FBI specifically had me put in the description here. Here's a quick little excerpt. Are you ready for the excerpt? Okay. Section 3. This is not an operation. This is a criminal enterprise and domestic terrorist organization. It is imperative to state unequivocally that the actions documented herein and in all prior filings are not part of any legitimate law enforcement operation, nor are they justifiable under any legal pretext. Not under any, guys. Not under any. If you were another country trying to wage war with me, you've been guilty of numerous Geneva Code violations. Do you understand that, dumbasses? Domestic terrorists in Unit 207, stalkers, child abusers, kidnappers, hostage holders, thieves, fraudsters. Do you understand that? I don't think you do. So let me rewind and I'll read that sentence again for you. This is not an operation. This is a criminal enterprise and domestic terrorist organization. It is imperative to state unequivocally that the actions documented herein and in all prior filings are not part of any legitimate law enforcement operation, nor are they justifiable under any legal pretext. Not under any legal pretext. Not under any legal pretext. This is an aggravated criminal conspiracy, a criminal enterprise, and constitutes the actions of a domestic terrorist organization. The perps, including officers of the North Everett Precinct and every one of you imbeciles in Unit 207 that have been perpetrating crimes nonstop for over 15 hours at this point, and their co-conspirators like the officer from the North Everett Precinct that came with the paper delivery telling them how to criminally and illegally end the preceding live stream and erase time off of it at 11. Those people. And all of their other co-conspirators are engaged in a systematic and sustained campaign of felony stalking and harassment, constant surveillance, intimidation tactics, and deliberate disruption of my peace and safety, cyber crimes and evidence tampering, illegal termination of live streams, erasure of recordings, and hacking attempts to obstruct justice and conceal their criminal activities. Obstruction of justice, rejection of legitimate police reports, fraudulent court maneuvers, and concerted efforts to impede any investigation into their crimes. Child abuse and exploitation, the continued and deliberate exploitation of my disabled sons to perpetrate felonies and further this criminal conspiracy. Illegal detainment and kidnapping. Ongoing illegal detainment within my own home and prior actionable kidnappings of my disabled sons, civil rights violations and ADA violations, systematic deprivation of my civil rights, and targeted discrimination based on disability. Financial fraud and extortion, attempts to extort and defraud me through various illegal means. For no immunity for unlawful directives. Let it be explicitly stated, following unlawful directives from superiors or co-conspirators provides absolutely no immunity for these criminal acts. Every individual involved, regardless of their position or perceived authority, is personally and criminally liable for their participation in this conspiracy. The willingness to obstruct justice, tamper with evidence, and intimidate a federal witness only deepens their culpability and ensures the maximum penalties under the law. 5. Echoes of January 2024. Pattern of criminality confirmed. It is critical to note that this pattern of criminal behavior is not new. In January 2024, individuals from Unit 207, including the same two males who initiated my illegal detainment on August 6, 2024, were actively engaged in indoctrinating and exploiting disabled minors, directing my multiple times convicted stalker and abuser to indoctrinate our disabled sons based on their disabilities and to plan their kidnapping until August 17th, 2024. Destruction of personal property, deliberately destroying my brand new laptops in January 2024. Theft, stealing money from each and every delivery I received for all of my deliveries from September 2023 to August 2024. These actions, like the ongoing crimes, were never part of any legitimate legal operation. They are, and always have been, components of a premeditated and aggravated criminal conspiracy targeting me and my children. The abuse of disabled minors for 13 months, their exploitation to perpetrate felonies, kidnapping, ADA violations, stalking, harassment, and all other documented crimes are not and cannot be construed as any form of legitimate operation. They are the hallmarks of a criminal enterprise operating with impunity and a complete disregard for the law. Again, go to facebook.com/Mystic Gwen Loves Only You. There you can read the full report, because if I try and read it here, Unit 207 will just terminate the live stream and erase it, which is what they're doing even when I don't read it. The guy that brought the paper instructions is still upstairs. Maybe he's going to hang out in the domestic terrorist organization, the stalking base of operations in Unit 207, where the child abusing, thieving, stalking, Gestapo are at present in many instances, as they have been since March 2023. And each and every one of them is going to prison for the rest of their life, except for the whistleblowers who blew the whistle before the new year. And everything that they've done in the last 72 hours assures that some individuals are going to prison now that weren't. It's Thursday, 11:46 a.m. I have no intention of ending this live stream for at least 10 hours. Unit 207, again, you know how they roll. They're a domestic terrorist organization. I mean, because of the fact that they have not yet been detained, some of them are like, we have nothing to lose. Let's continue being a domestic terrorist organization. But they're going to find out very soon that they've made the worst decision in their life. But they're going to find out very soon that they've made the worst decision in their life.
And so it goes, baby. And so it goes.
You have the same courtesy available for Miss Bamer.
Look what the cat dragged in. Always good to see you here, friend. And a happy Halloween to you. Wouldn't you know it, my favorite time of year. Not too many trick-or-treaters around these parts, though. Probably for the best, don't you think? Seeing it is spooky season, however, and the veil between worlds is at its thinnest, I gotta give you something. I wouldn't want any bad luck not practicing an ancient tradition. So open up the palm of your hand.
Unit 207 was
There
out on the
you
balcony
go.
stalking me, one of their
The small
domestic
burlap
terrorists, the man.
satchel
He just
you
went
are
inside.
holding
A
right
female
now
upstairs is glad about
contains
that.
one
Another male is
single
hacking and following
severed
another
finger.
female's instructions. I
Said to
assume
have
to attempt to
belonged to a young
terminate this
man.
live stream,
It
erase
was
it,
found in a
or do
house
any
in
variety of
Colma,
other things that will be
California.
a lot of the
the
reason
city
why
of
she's in
souls.
prison 10 years from now.
Now
20
that you
years
have
from
your
now.
treat,
30
it's
years from
time
now.
for the trick. In this case, a story of a town that knew death all too well. You've got yourself a decision to make. You can either turn away from this conversation right now and go enjoy your night. I do recommend that. Go to a party, meet up with some friends, whatever it is you please, and we'll pretend this visit never happened. Or you stay here and see what's over the ledge, so to speak. Either way, the finger is yours, as our policy strictly states. Well, okay then. Don't say I didn't warn you. Please
Don't
stay
say
tight.
I
This
didn't warn
story
you.
is. Well, okay then. Listen. Don't say I didn't warn you. Welcome to the antiquarium of sinister happenings and odd goings on.
I heard a story once about two women. They lived in a small town called Colma, California. Over 1.5 million people call Colma home. About two women. Only about 1,300 of them are actually still alive. Colma is a necropolis, the city of the silent.
The gold rush brought legions to San Francisco looking for fortune. Along with them came disease and death. By the late 1800s, the cemetery shared a problem that the living still have to this day.
Again, the female
Overcrowding.
federal fellows upstairs
Just like
are
tenants who are 6
instructing
months
a
behind
man
on their
who apparently
payments,
knows how to do what
they
they
got evicted.
cannot to
Hundreds
commit
of
felonies
thousands of
at the
bodies
hatch at
turned farm fields into
11:51.
graveyards
Remember,
and turned Colma into the city of souls.
everything you're doing constitutes
two women I
domestic
mentioned?
terrorism.
Yeah,
You're going to
that's
prison.
us. I'm Litha.
And I'm a
You're
content
going to
that my
prison.
friends call me
And the
Katie.
FBI
And
had
we
you
are the
telling
witches
us in
of
December
Colma.
that
We
journey
come
for
from
you
a line
doesn't
of
begin
magi who
until
have been the
March.
guardians and
It's
protectors of
February
these spirits
13th.
for over 150
Everything
years.
you're doing
All the pain and
is
loss,
guaranteeing
every
more and more
funeral,
years
every
in
prayer,
prison,
the tears that have soaked
which
these
is
hollow
where you're all
grounds
going.
make this town a
Minus the
metaphysical
whistleblowers.
nuclear reactor.
Swarms of those practicing occult rituals and necromancy are drawn to this place. That much paranormal juice, even with a simple glamour spell, shit gets real.
As if casting banishing enchantments and hexes isn't enough, try getting your calculus homework in on time between basketball practice and a full course load. We are in our last year at Colma High, where the school motto is Aeternus Somnus. For those unfamiliar with creepy Latin, that translates to eternal sleep, which clearly we don't get enough of.
To yourself, Lith. I've been sleeping through this entire boring prologue.
Sworn in sisterhood, gave daylight, so mote it be.
All right, everyone, make sure to wrap up Richard III tonight. We'll have a quiz first thing tomorrow. Hey, and on a serious note, as most of you are aware, the search continues for 2 missing students, Nancy Erickson and John Daniels. So just be careful out there. Remain vigilant. Continue to report anything suspicious. And if you have any information or know someone who might, please tell the police. Tell us. Tell someone. Be safe, kids.
Hey, Katie, wait up. I missed you at the game yesterday.
Roger, hey, yeah, well, my kingdom for some sleep. You know Shakespeare?
Huh?
Sorry, that was bad. I just had to call it an early night between this and finals coming up, these disappearances. I think I'm losing my mind.
No, I get it. I'm joining my parents this weekend for the search party in San Bruno Mountains. I miss them, Katie. Nancy and John were the perfect couple.
Are the perfect couple. I mean, they're out there somewhere and they're doing fine, doing more than fine. You know, I bet they're driving up the coast of Canada right this second, about to get married by a cop on a horse and have their vows read by Ryan Reynolds and toast each other with maple syrup.
Well, the rumor is there's a serial killer out there, and Connor seems to think we won't find him with their insides intact. So, how about that, eh?
Dude, maybe they should arrest you.
What?
They're already killing them. God, Raj. It's gonna be fine. They'll turn up. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you aren't doing anything later, I could really use some help with this poetry stuff. I mean, if you had
Time? Yeah, Roger. I think, yeah. That'd be nice.
Oh, cool. Yes.
7?
7 is perfect.
Okay.
Okay. I will.
See you then.
Hey, Katie Cat. Tonight's the big night. Are you so excited?
Dude, it worked. Roger was all over me.
Of course he was. Simple honey jar spell never fails.
Do you really think this is going to work? I mean, we have tried this 2 other times.
Don't question it for another second. Manifestation, the law of attraction, the rule of 3. We are so good.
This is some ancient magic we're dealing with here, Lith. Everything has to be perfect.
Everything is perfect. I can just sense something different this time, and, well,
Spit it out.
we've never had them sense
What the fuck are
something
you talking about?
different this time. And,
Okay.
well,
Spit it out.
right.
What do you think of all this serial killer stuff? 4 people missing in the last 3 months. That's a good 20% of this town. This whole place is on fire.
I think protection spell, white candle, salt.
I've been trying for weeks, but nothing seems to be sticking. I can feel a darkness that just won't shake. Like the world is closing in.
Katie, trust me, it's working. It's all definitely working.
We headed home to my place.
You bet your ass we did.
Lith, what the hell? This is supposed to be my inner voice talking solo, like a monologue.
Sorry.
Stepped over the corpses of my parents who gutted on the living room floor.
I can't wait for you to tell them.
Are you insane? I'm not telling anyone shit.
You know what I mean. Continue.
And waited for Roger. You should have seen the look on his face. Rather not that there's anything left of it now. But before he got to my house, he had such joy in his eyes. It was extinguished rather quickly by the shock of the baseball bat I clenched in my hands, pummeling his skull. The first blow knocked him out. The second one caved his face in. He never knew what hit him.
You really went to town on that dude. That is so fucking disgusting, Kitty.
Hey, if this is gonna be done, we gotta do it right.
And yet so very, very wrong. Let me pick it up from here.
It's all yours.
So, we cut off his right index finger with a cleaver.
Yeah, that was all you.
Okay, I cut off his right index finger with a cleaver. Sorry. Here, take this gross thing.
Ew. Alright, so using the appendage like a severed finger crane of death, we drew this demonic-looking sigil on the center of the floor next to the bodies of my parents.
Hey, not just any sigil, but that of Demonium Timoris, a very badass fallen angel. And then we scooped up his brain matter, mixed it with some chicken broth, and bam! 5-minute necromancy. Nothing in the ethereal realm is potent. Bottoms up, Katie Cat. Cheers!
I do apologize, but a delivery just arrived here at the shop, and I need to sign for it. Sit tight, and I'll be back quicker than a rat up a drain pipe.
Last year, Art the Clown blew up the box office with a Christmas sleigh ride for the ages. And now on Valentine's Day, Art is slashing his way into your home.
And
That's
illegally
right.
shut off
February
the
14th,
preceding
Terrifier
live
3
stream after
makes its
being
official
provided
streaming
written
debut
instructions at
exclusively
11
on
a.m.
Screen
from a
Box.
fellow domestic
Listeners
terrorist
can get
within the
3
North
months of
Everett
Screen Box
precinct,
for just $2.99
who is still
per
currently
month by going to
upstairs.
Terrifier3.com.
And then upon attempting to initiate this live stream, I was brought to the void where it pretended as though the preceding live stream that ran for almost 4 hours had never initiated. I cannot actively go back to that to confirm whether or not they illegally ended that, but the man from the exterior who came all the way from the North Everett precinct to provide them with written instructions for the domestic terrorism organization is still upstairs. So since they were able to do that, we know that they'll be able to do it again. And since, as you were aware of, in the event that you were listening at all to the preceding live stream for the almost 4.5 hours that it was recording, you're already aware that Unit 207 has tried everything that you can imagine in order to criminally and illegally shut off the live stream. But we're unable to, again, until a man from the North Everett precinct of stalkers came with paper instructions 14 minutes ago and criminally and illegally shut off the preceding live stream. Something he'll be going to prison for, as they all are aware of. So it appears that we are connected now.
Shall we?
Now I'm going to have to edit the title and the caption to have all of the appropriate data.
5-minute necromancy.
Okay. And we're going to add a little update on here.
Bottoms up,
The 2:13, 11:11 a.m.
I went upstairs to my altar.
We're going to write
Lit a white
at
candle for
11
protection
a.m.
spell.
a man from the North Everett
Picture on the floor
precinct,
of me and lead.
You probably realized right now that
a
this
man
is
from the
not
domestic
the
terrorist
small town
organization known as
Scary serial killer.
the North
To
Everett
protect
precinct.
the witches who have strayed off the path of light from getting caught.
Told you it was working.
Arrived
Blood
with
sickles
paper
on my parents
instructions.
last weekend. And look, Katie's mom. No cuffs.
Oh, come on, put her head down.
Arrived with paper instructions for the men and women
Spell to open a portal that will bestow upon us the secrets of Timoris.
in the domestic terrorist organization
Fly, shapeshift, alter reality.
of Unit 207.
With all the
There's no
knowledge of
conspiracy.
Timoris.
In the domestic terrorist organization
Shapeshift, alter
of
reality.
Unit 207.
Actual cataclysmic powers.
Okay, so we did the protection spell. You buried those two.
Let me read
things
that.
in
At 11 a.m., a man from the domestic terrorist organization arrived with paper for the men in the domestic terrorist
Only one thing left.
organization of Unit 207. I'll say and women.
The blood of the sixth and the darkness betwixt.
Comma, terminating prior life, preventing inception of this life,
Whoa. You hear that, Katie?
and
Yeah.
apparently
Wait,
criminally and illegally erasing.
Breathing. Someone is listening to us. Can you hear them yet? I felt their presence ever since I performed the summoning incantation from the Liber Malum. I knew they could hear us, and now
I felt their presence
I
ever
can
since
hear
I performed
them.
the summoning
They can
incantation.
hear us,
And now I felt their presence
I
ever
can
since
hear
I performed the
them.
summoning
Thank you
incantation.
for her passage into our world, for possessing a mortal human host.
Felt their presence ever since I performed the summoning incantation.
we're hearing this from out of their phones.
For possessing a mortal human host.
Oh,
Felt their presence.
And now with
It worked. It actually worked. Hey, you! In your headphones, or in your fucking car. We know you can hear us.
It worked.
You've been with
Hey,
us this
you!
entire time, and us.
In your
who
headphones. In your fucking car. We know you can hear us. It worked.
no
fucking way.
And we've been doing an irreparable amount of damage in there too.
You
Oh,
are a small part of a larger hierarchy.
And we've been doing an irreparable amount of damage in there
Their
too.
spells. A part of your soul has begun to deteriorate and unlock.
You have been an active part of this the entire time. Just by
A part of
listening,
your soul has begun to
these words of
deteriorate
life
and
simply by
unlock.
knowing them has linked you to us. This is how it spreads.
Deteriorate and
You
unlock.
are the vessel
Has linked you
The next
to
time
us.
you awaken in the middle of the night,
This is how it
eyes
spreads.
will
Deteriorate and unlock.
when you sense that something is with you in an empty room. When you're getting that last drink of water as you go to bed and you shut off the lights before running up the stairs, terrified.
Last drink of water as you go to
Putting
bed
all
and
staring
you shut
up
off the
at
lights before
shadows.
running up the stairs.
This is her portal. No, that's her gateway.
Running up the stairs.
World.
This is her
Inside
portal.
you, Timorous will creep.
No, that's her
She will
gateway.
feed off your fear and only grow stronger, till fear is all that's left.
Then, as you are consumed, none of this will matter. Perhaps your last thought might be, why did I ever open myself up to the witches of Corn? To surrender.
Did I ever open myself up?
Total spiritual vulnerability on hands and knees to the goddess Timoris. To this
At
little
12:03 p.m., a man upstairs is still being berated by the
We
female
told you not to
domestic
listen to
terrorist.
this.
To do what? Prevent this live stream from being visible by anyone at all other than myself, and then that's the end. To be guilty of a series of felonies.
Thank you for your
With no
patronage.
immunity.
Hope you enjoyed your new relic as much as I've enjoyed
Because the
passing along
attorneys
its
facing federal
sordid
disbarment
history.
want them to because they're
It
testing
does
to
come
see
with
if
our
the FBI
usual
will
warning,
arrest you
however.
guys.
Absolutely
Because
no
they still think they're
refunds,
smarter than the FBI.
no
you dumb fuck.
exchanges, and we
You
won't
are
be held
personally
liable for
liable for
anything that
everything
may
you've done.
or
and
may
are
not
currently
occur
doing.
while the object is in your possession. If you've got an artifact with mysterious properties, perhaps it's accompanied by a history of bizarre circumstances. Maybe you'd be interested in dropping it and its story by the shop to share with other customers. Please reach out to antiquariumshop@gmail.com. A member of our team will be in touch. Till next time, we'll be waiting for you whenever you close your eyes. In the space, we'll be waiting for you whenever you close your eyes. During regular business hours, of course, or by appointment, only for you, our best customer. You have a good night now.
The Antiquarium of Sinister Happenings, Lot 017. Do not listen to this. Written by Trevor Shand. Starring Jocelyn Donahue.
Do
as
not
Alpha,
listen to this.
Natalie Allen Lind as Hecate. Kai Castor as Roger. Featuring Stephen Knowles as the Antique Dealer. Additional sound effects by AV Productions. Engineering, production, and sound design
Featuring
by
Stephen Knowles as the Antique Dealer.
Brothers.
Additional
Once
sound
again,
effects
when
by
I
AV
clicked on the
Productions.
email, Unit
Engineering,
207
production, and sound
automatically set up this live stream to
Follow us
attempt
on
to
Instagram and
stop
Twitter
certain
at
appearances
Antiquarium
starting
Pod.
6 p.m.
Call the Antiquarium
Like occurred in the
at
preceding live stream as well.
646-481-7197.
Call the Antiquarium
Like occurred in the
at
preceding.
What's this all about?
What about nightmares? They can't tear out your soul anymore.
Ominous Thrill, a full-cast anthology of horror, thrillers, and suspense. He has delivered you up to me.
Tell them what you did
I didn't do anything.
to me.
No!
Character-driven tales from the dark side.
I'm no psycho. I'm hungry for your vengeance.
I could feel them under my skin and I had to cut them out.
We can't help her.
We're leaving. What? Risa, what?
A man's severed head.
I need the light. You want me to fall down the stairs?
No. I want to push you. I love you so fucking much.
Ominous and Thrill. Available now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and everywhere.
Oh, yes.
Thrill you later.
Este episodio es presentado por Opel, la primera píldora anticonceptiva diaria de venta libre disponible en los Estados Unidos. Aprobada por la Este episodio es presentado por Opel. Además, no necesitas receta médica. Los días en los que necesitabas prescripción médica para la píldora anticonceptiva han terminado. Opel está disponible en línea y en la mayoría de las tiendas. Toma el control de tu salud reproductiva con Opel. Usa el código Birth Control y recibe 25% de descuento en tu primer mes de Opel en opel.com.
Big news. Wayfair's President's Day clearance is on. Right now through February 18th, get up to 70% off everything home. Big free and easy Wayfair's President to your door. It's kind of like a present from Wayfair. President's Day? Okay, we'll keep workshopping that. And while we're workshopping, you should be real shopping at Wayfair. Like now, before it's too late. Save on quality furniture for every room in the house. Appliances, mattresses, cookware, home decor, rugs, wall art, sofas, spatulas, table lamps, toaster ovens, dining sets, outdoor sheds, and you get the idea. Trust us, this is the sale to score amazing end-of-season savings at Wayfair. And the bow on top of Wayfair's President's Day deals, free and easy delivery straight to your door. Now that's a present. So don't wait. Shop Wayfair's President's Day clearance right now through February 18th at wayfair.com and save up to 70% off Wayfair's best deal since Black Friday.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Well, if it isn't nice seeing you again, friend, I do not know what is. Can't tell you how much I look forward to your visits here. It's rather refreshing, if I'm being honest. Your enthusiasm is palpable. How much I look forward to your visits here. It's rather refreshing, if I'm being honest. Which brings me to something I've been saving just for you. This would be a spelling bee trophy from Wellington Prep, one of the finest private schools around these parts. I'm giving you first place in an award-winning story I call Mr. Nobody. Welcome to the antiquarium of sinister happenings and odd goings-on.
I was 6 years old when my parents divorced. My mother was out of control. The best way to describe her was a redheaded She was out of control, and she was so hard to live with. I mean, if I could divorce her, I would. My dad was the reason alone. He at least tried to understand me. She knew the pains in the relationship, and my dad would often cower and gave in to her. Probably just to shut her up. My mother was an overly refined woman. You never saw her without her face on. She loved living in high society, and that's something my father was able to provide for her. She had lunch with their friends weekly, and always dressed like $1 million. I'm not sure why she even wanted me. I was too messy and didn't fit into a perfect life. I think after all her friends started having kids, she felt pressure or thought she was missing out on something. I mean, it all starts with having a baby and praising the joys of motherhood for them all to want to have one. Her friends are cut from the same cloth.
I'm on to this cat,
all wealthy and egocentric.
He just wanted that cat to
something to do
run
when
so
you're
he could
bored
have a
and have
chase
everything
scene
and anything
for
money
his,
can
for his
buy.
content.
Babies
That's all that
should
cat's
be
doing.
working back. But my
Cause
mom
all that conversation, like if you was really about that smoke and that action, y'all was fence to fence. You could have just got it in right there. Cause all that conversation, like you like run, that smoke and that run.
I didn't go through 20 hours of labor to hear you call me that.
Cats always be.
It was more like evil.
Nobody be like, wow.
Sorry, Mother. I swear she harnesses some sort of resentment toward me for not being able to get back
All
in my
that
size
talk,
2
man.
jeans since the
If
pregnancy.
you was really about that action, you would
I'm
came
only
around that
child
corner and
and
just put
kind of
paws on
lonely.
it. But you was like, no, run
Andrea
so I
never
can
wanted to
chase
play with
you.
me,
And
and my
the
dad
numbers
was always
can
gone to
go up.
work.
Come on, man. He
He
was like,
works
now I
at
feel
4
like
hours
running,
to stay away
man.
from
Come
her.
on, man. He's
He
like,
always
now
nagged
run
me.
so I can
That's
chase
all
you.
she
Always
had
doing
to do.
this, man. You always doing this.
Come
And now I
on,
feel like
4 hours
running,
into
man.
the relationship. Just
I don't
like
feel
she
like
liked
running,
to
man.
do. She would
Run.
play dates with her friends' children, but I didn't like any of them.
Run, Curtis.
All the girls wanted to play dolls and pretend to be mini versions of their mothers. Yuck. That sounded like a death sentence. I could hardly stand being around my mother, so why would I want to pretend to be just like her? The only boy that ever came to play was William.
The thick skin of their soles lies a soft layer of fatty tissue. This unique structure helps distribute their massive weight and provides cushioning, but at the same time it prevents elephants from standing completely flat on the ground, which is why you will never see an elephant jump. Moreover, elephants do not drink water directly with their trunks. An elephant's trunk functions similarly to a human arm. When drinking, they use their trunk as a storage tool, capable of holding up to 9 liters of water. On hot days, elephants like to spray water onto their bodies to cool down or simply swallow it. Interestingly, newborn elephants do not yet understand the function of their trunks. When drinking water, they often squat in front of a water source rather than using their trunks like adult elephants. Small elephants find the large flexible tube in front of them fascinating and are unsure how to use it. In fact, baby elephants sometimes even step on their own trunks and trip while walking.
You're already left.
About new things. And
This information in this video made me love him even more. They out here with soft feet.
I thought maybe this year would be different.
Of course they got
Learning
soft
excited
feet, man.
me,
Of
and
course.
people did.
Of course they
Maybe
tiptoeing.
this
They
year
just
would be
don't.
different, and I would make some
In
friends.
the trunk.
Fit in socially.
I thought it was just a water source. Man, I didn't know they was scooping it in with the trunk.
I
Oh.
wasn't allowed to belong.
And the babies is out here playing with the.
Maybe I can belong there.
If my nose was long, you best believe
My
I'd
mother
be
quickly
playing with
pushed
it, man.
back the curtains to let the morning light in.
That's-
I put the blanket over my head and shut my eyes.
Time for school, Victoria. You're gonna be late if you don't hurry up.
Ugh. Well, I guess the alternative was hanging out with her all day. So I'd rather get ready for school. I got dressed and hurried down the stairs for breakfast. I grabbed my lunch and rainbow backpack and headed out the door. I made sure to pull out my brand new water bottle. The walk to the bus stop is long enough for me to need a few sips of water on the way. The autumn wind tickled my face and made my long auburn strands of hair dance around my freckled face. The trees had started to lose their leaves, and their branches brushed up upon the windows of neighborhood houses. I sat alone on the bus ride to school. The kids sat out with their friends, and the only open seat was next to Dustin and Dougie. I wasn't sitting next to him. I was already struggling with the so he moved me down my steps. When I got to school, I was greeted by my new teacher, Miss Anderson. She seemed real nice, and I was excited to be in her class. I sat behind Miss Coldwell. She was one of the most popular kids in 4th grade. Her dad created some tech company, and they were disgustingly rich. For some reason, she had it out for me. I mean, I wasn't that special, since she had it out for everyone who wasn't in her social circle. I raised my hand and said, Miss Anderson, may I use the bathroom? She motioned me to go.
Hurry up, we just started. Please use the restroom before class.
I went to the bathroom. I guess all that water on the way to school caught up to me. I peed as fast as I could, wiped, flushed, and went to the sink to wash my hands. I turned on the water, which was ice cold, and started washing my hands. I looked in the mirror and noticed what looked like bruise on my face. I leaned in closer, resting my body on the sink. I got a better glance and saw it was just a dark smudge of dirt. As I went to grab some water to wash it off, I noticed that the sink was full of water and dripping down my shirt and onto the floor. Crap! My shirt and skirt are soaked. Now it looks like I peed my pants. What am I going to do now? I tried to dry with one of those hand dryers that are super loud and scare the crap out of you. But it didn't help at all. I reluctantly went back to class with a giant water stain on the front of my skirt. I rushed into the classroom and headed straight to my desk, praying nobody would see what I had done. Just as I slid into my desk chair, I locked eyes with Misty, who by nature moved her bright green eyes down, and by the mischievous grin on her face, I knew she had seen.
Look, everyone, Victoria Peter Pans. Do you need a diaper? What a baby.
I sat on my desk, coiled in a ball, covering my ears and shutting my eyes tight. I could feel my ball, cover my ears, and I could just feel the kids staring and laughing without me even looking at them. Miss Anderson told Misty to stop and tapped me on the shoulder and sent me to the nurse's office to get cleaned up. Luckily, they had a spare change of clothes that I could use. Anderson told Misty to stop nice to be and tapped me on the shoulder and sent me to the nurse's office. At lunch, I could hear whispers from the other children, getting wind of what happened. At lunch, I could hear whispers from the other children. They would look at me and pretend they weren't looking at me. I took my lunch and ate it in the bathroom. Another thing I had seen on TV. Finally, it was the end of the day and the bell rang. I stuffed my folder, books, and water bottle in my bag and headed home. I always take the same route to the bus stop, but Misty and her friends were on that path, and I wanted to avoid them and any other ridicule. I had heard and seen other kids taking a path through the woods that was said to be a shortcut to the bus stop. Normally, I was content with my normal route. It had never failed me in the past. I decided to try the way through the woods this time. Anything to avoid those mean girls. I loved the sound the crunchy leaves made under my shoes as I stepped on top of them. The place was covered with tall, colorful trees, and there was a blanket of brown leaves covering the ground. I was a slow walker, and as I got deeper in the woods, I saw less and less kids until I didn't see any at all. The woods started to look bigger, and the trees seemed to grow taller right before my eyes.
All right, let's see if Annie Letterman has started her podcast today. Annie Letterman, Annie Woodpod. I can't do it because Unit 207 is fucking with the interface on YouTube from all tabs because that guy that brought them the paper instructions is upstairs listening to the female domestic terrorist. Doing what? Attempting to make this either invisible, doing all of the felonies the FBI has told them repeatedly they're guilty of every time they do it. Who's Annie Letterman? How long does it last? I have no idea.
So I'm walking Randy the other morning. Todd's still asleep. I look at his mouth, red all over his mouth, red all over his stomach. I'm like, he's fucking bleeding.
Oh no.
I'm going, he's not acting upset. He's not acting hurt. I'm going, what is happening? I take him back inside. I wake Todd up. I'm like, sorry, Todd, you gotta get the fuck up. I don't know how to deal with this. And then we're like, oh my God, you feel like you're like, oh my God, my literally is so pretty afterwards. Trust, it's like a lip stain, and you, ew, that is so bad. Guys, we're moving, we're leaving this. I look punched, I'm not gonna lie. I look.
We have two black eyes.
Todd, what'd you do to us?
Oh no.
Hi guys, welcome to Annie Wood episode 118. I love that number. It's a special number. We have the beautiful, hilarious, my little ray of sunshine. She is so, I just love Jessie Jetski Juicy Johnson. I just love her so much. And she came to us late night. So we're doing a special slumber party episode. And it was fun. It was fun. Nighttime vibes. It was just really fun. We also have the extended version. We couldn't shut up. Todd kept trying to get us to stop. He's like, I'm going to have to edit this whole thing. But we couldn't shut up. So there's an extended version on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Annie Letterman, where you can get all of the extras and unedited versions of the show, the extendeds. And we always put some random other stuff up there. So thank you guys so much. And everyone that has joined the Patreon, we love you. Everyone that sent me sweet comments last week, thank you so much. That was so sweet. I just want to be more honest and know who I am and share it with you guys. And I'm glad that's resonating with you. I just feel a lot lighter and good. I'm excited. And I'm on the road performing. I got a lot of new ideas, fresh jokes. I'm just feeling so invigorated and back. So you can come see me. Norfolk is this weekend. We're doing Valentine's Day weekend. I think the shows are almost sold out, so grab your tickets as soon as you can. Todd and I are going to be driving in from, where are we flying into? Omaha, baby. We're driving in. So come see us. We're going to have merch. We're going to have Randy. And then, Annie Wood and Friends at the Comedy Store on the 18th. And I think we might get David Tell. It's going to be a great lineup. Just get your tickets. I promise. It's going to be so fun. I will be in Milwaukee at the Milwaukee Improv just for one night, February 26th. So come see me there. I'm going to be in Anchorage, Alaska at Beartooth, March 14th, one night only. We have another Annie Wooded Friends on the 18th. I'm going to be in Philly, my hometown, which I'm Go Birds. Come see me March 27th at Helium Comedy Club. I'm so excited to perform there. Toronto Comedy Bar, March 28th and 29th. I'm going to be in La Jolla, April 4th and 6th. We're going to film it as a little mini special.